Hi, this is my CS348 database's final project called ResearchViewer. So to start off, you just have to sign in with Google, and this uses Firebase. And I already have an account, so this should work and the data should populate. And so what this does is ResearchViewer is a tool for you to be able to analyze research papers, get reports on certain topics, and be able to find recommendations for future papers to read. So to start off, we see that there's different clusters, and each of these represents a cluster of papers. And so we're going to go to physical sciences, and in here you can see that there's topics. So each of these topics represent something else in the physical science domain. So if we arbitrarily click on one, let's say quantum electrodynamics, then we can see these are the micro topics. So each of these generally have between a few hundred to a few thousand papers, and I manually clustered these myself with an algorithm. And so here we can see all of these different papers. And so most of these have archive URLs, and so this is where all the data comes from. And so the clustering was done on the abstract and the title. And so you can see that you can add a paper to your reading list. You can view these papers, and there's also these tags, and you can get stats. And so what we can do from here is look at a report, and we can see all of these stats about this micro topic. We can see the citations per year, and we can see the top papers, authors, and what we can also do is compare this to another micro topic, let's say the Kashmir effect. And so we see here the differences, and this works for any combination, and this is generated on the fly. So then we can export this as a PDF for sharing. And what we can also do is maybe click on a different micro topic. And so these sometimes take a little bit more time to load, and I'll talk about why later. So what we can also do is click on another micro topic. Let's see the UNRWA effect. And we can add a paper to the reading list. So you see it updates here. And so we can view this paper, but more importantly, once we've read this paper, then we can hit this check and we've read it. So you see here I have a bunch of papers on my reading list. But so now if we go to profile, then you can see my reading profile. So if we just sort by, we can go by domain, or we can just scroll, and we're looking for quantum electrodynamics. So this is all ordered. Then we can go right here and we can see that I've read one paper on the UNRWA effect. And so if I read another, let's say we'll just add this to the reading list, and we'll say that I've read it. Then we go back. Then you can see here that it updates. And so we can also generate reports. So we're going to go to quantum electrodynamics, and there's only one topic that we've read here. So you can see there's pretty limited data. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple more papers. We're going to read them, and then we're also going to add from another topic. Let's say all these three papers have been read. I'm also going to read about the dynamical Kashmir effect. We'll just read 3 papers. And so if you were actually using this, you would want to open the paper links, and you would go and you'd read the papers. But so what we can do now is go here, we can make a report. In quantum electrodynamics, you can generate this report, and you can see here the quantum electrodynamics and Kashmir effect. And so this is what we read here. And you can see in here we also have the Unruh effect and we have the dynamical Kashmir effect. And so we've read both. And you can see the paper regenerate with the correct information. So we've read 8 papers in total, and they're both under the quantum electrodynamics topic. And it's split under 2 microtopics. So one of them is the Unruh effect, and one of them is the Kashmir. So from here, you can export this prints, and you can see the papers that have been read. And this is your overall reading activity. This is not for just this topic. And what you can also do, so if we go to publications, you see every author has this open Alex, and so I got all of the authors and all of the authors from arXiv and got either their open Alex or ORCID. And so this is a real paper, but if we just break this, you see the paper goes away, and you can add a Alex ID to your account. So this is my real Alex ID. We can go here or open Alex. If we just look, you can see this is actually me. And this is a real paper. And so what you can do is you can edit papers. So I can increase citations, and this is calculated from other papers. I can also change the title. What you can do in addition is you can add another paper. So we're going to just call it test from 2026, add a DOI, and then we can also search for authors. Let's just here add an author, and I'll also add myself, even though that's automatically also added. And so here you can see I now have 2 publications. I can close, reopen this with 5 total citations, because this has 5 and this has 0. And so I can edit this. Let's say here, now I have 7 total citations. I can refresh, go back into it, and you'll see here it stays, and then at the end I can delete this. And so this is all of the operations that are required. In addition, there's this hot topic. So this is for hot papers that are getting a lot of citations recently. And so you can see here in this auto updates, you can just add to your reading list, you can open and view them. And there's also for you, and this is generated based on what you've read. So every time a paper is added, this is generated. And so this is very slow to generate. And so what I do is I pre-compute this while the user is off doing other things to make sure that it's ready and loaded. And there's also an index in place to make this much, much faster that I'm going to talk about later. So in addition, you can see the GitHub here. It's called ResearchViewer. And you can also see the information. So you can see the data source, and this is one that I made called labeled arXiv. And I can also see the API documentation right here. Lastly, there's also a search feature. So I can search up attention, and there's all of these filters that you can go by. And so this is pretty slow because it does a keyword search over all titles and all abstracts. But the point is that you should be able to type in a keyword or a set of keywords, and it pulls up every paper that has these keywords in either the title or the abstract, and we can see here. So these are all papers that have the word attention in either, and there's going to be a lot. can also sort by domain, for example. We'll see topic modeling just arbitrarily. And so you can see they're all tagged as well. So we can open this. And so I recommend trying this out. So the URL is researchviewer.org. It's hosted. Anybody can make an account just with a Gmail. And you can see that everything functions. So thank you. This is my project, ResearchViewer.